Hi Star Wars fans, it's Mr. Corellian, and today I'll be reviewing for you the Toys R Us exclusive Battle Over Endor pack number 1. So this pack comes with 4 figures, 2 Rebel pilots, a Rebel droid, and an Imperial TIE Fighter pilot. So let's just sort of go through them one by one. First of all, we'll start with the TIE Fighter pilot. He has the most limited articulation of the bunch, having a ball head, shoulders, elbows, knees, no ankle articulation. He has swivel hips, swivel wrist, and a swivel waist. So his accessories are this helmet, which can pop off of his chest, and that's kind of neat, except that there's this big old hole in the middle of his chest when you don't have it on. And he also comes with this blaster with an abnormally large scope that fits very well in this holster on the side of him, as well as in both of his hands. This guy's done alright. Some of his plastic feels a little bit flimsy, and like his wrist feels a little bit loose. But I really like the paint application on him, that all of his jumpsuit parts are done in a matte black, and then his armor parts, or his, that's sort of the plastic helmet, and the plastic part here is done in a glossy black, and that adds a really nice look to him. I actually really like this helmet. It's just interesting and detailed, and the glossy look really does pull it together rather well. One funny thing about this character, he actually has 2 belts. One of them is built into him, and the other one is a loose one around him. That's the one with the holster. And actually, I think it's kind of interesting because it's just more detail, but I thought it was weird. His sculpt is full of wrinkles and little, contours, little textured lines all over his jumpsuit, so it's fairly detailed. The head sculpt is okay, and other than the glossy versus matte paint, the paint is alright. I mean, all around, this is a pretty good figure, pretty average, I'd say. Nothing really lacking about it, but nothing outstanding either. Then we'll go on to the next guy. Let's see, what's this guy's called? Sila Cott, or Sila Cott. He's Red 2, an A-Wing pilot, and he has slightly more articulation than the TIE Fighter pilot, namely that he has ball ankles, but other than that it's the same, balls, shoulders, elbows, knees, ankles, head, with a swivel waist and swivel hips and swivel wrists. This guy feels like he's made of a slightly higher quality plastic than the TIE Fighter pilot, so that's good. This hose here is removable from his chest, but the actual chest plate is stuck in him. The chest plate is fairly detailed and mostly painted well, but there's a little bit of sloppiness to the paint, as well as I noticed this sloppy paint on the back of his boot. The helmet, well, depending on your taste, you might think it's too large. I think it actually looks pretty good. Especially considering that the helmet is sculpted very detailed and has a lot of different colors on it, which makes it really interesting. It's also painted with a weathered look, which is nice. His head sculpt is fairly bland, and so is the paint job on it. Like many pilots, he has this loose rubber strap running down beneath his legs, and his accessory is this rather generic blaster. In fact, it's actually the same accessory that comes with the other Rebel pilot. There's 2 of the same blaster. Then we'll go on to what people will probably say is the best figure of the pack. Let's see, this guy's name is Lieutenant Ekelark Yong of Grey 3. He's a Y-Wing pilot, and he has he's the most articulated figure of the 3. In that he adds a ball torso instead of a swivel torso, and has the same as the others. I won't repeat it again. He also feels like he's made of better plastic than the TIE Fighter pilot, and he has 2 hoses that connect to him, although this is kind of strange. There's a hole for this hose here, but there's no hole for the other end. So yeah, there's 3 hose holes on him, and you need an even number for it to actually look right. So I don't know what you're supposed to do with this one. You're just supposed to dangle there, or you might even just want to take it off. I don't see it being that bad dangling there, especially since it goes behind him, so that's usually where I keep it, but that's definitely still a problem. His helmet is very interesting. It fits his head nicely and has very detailed paint all over it, little symbols and markings. And I really like the clear pink rubber visor. It makes it really unique. You know, most of the Rebel pilots have if they have a visor at all, it's like an orange one. But yeah, I thought this was just a really good looking helmet. And there's his face underneath. Once again, you know, just kind of a generic looking face, nothing that interesting to it. But let's move on to the last one, this the droid. It is called R5P9, and it's actually, I guess, this pilot's droid, so that's kind of cool that you get the pair. So this antenna on top of it is removable, and what else is removable? Oh, this foot down here. It's not articulated, although it does have a wheel underneath, as well as do both of his other feet. Both of the droid's ankles are articulated, and the legs are too. So that's good. You can get him a lot of different poses. You can get him standing, you know, to go inside a ship. Although you can see that there is a panel here, it's glued shut. Most likely just because it's the exact same body as on other astromech droids, and this one they just didn't want to add anything inside that panel. His head swivels, and when it does, this little antenna probe or whatever pops out of the top and comes back in, and pops out of the top and comes back in, with that oh so familiar clicking noise. His paint is actually really nice. They've got a lot of weathering all over it. He's not just a one gray color. It's gray with all this like muddy brown on it. It looks very detailed and very natural looking. All in all, this is actually a really good astromech. Now, I know $35 is kind of steep for figures, but considering you're getting 4 figures, and nowadays figures are what, like $8 to $10? I guess depending on where you get them, they could be cheaper, but it seems like they've gone up in price the last couple months. You know, this is like buying 4 single-packed guys, and since they're all exclusives, none of them are going to be guys that you already have. So really, they do seem to be worth the money. The accessories aren't great, but these guys are just so interesting. And you know, they're not like crappy throwaway figures that kind of came in some of the Evolutions packs. They were a little lower quality. These guys are just fine quality. And although they'd be on like the lower quality end of singly carded figures, they totally could have been single carded figures. So yeah, this pack isn't without its flaws, but considering you're getting 4 figures that are unique, no repeats, and that aren't for sale on shelves, so you definitely don't already have any of these guys, they're definitely worth considering picking up. So I hope this review helped, and may the Force be with you.